Hello everyone, it's Melanie here from Speaking Styles. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great day. I'll just wait and see if anybody is coming on to today's live. Scheduled for 12 o'clock today. Today I'm going to be chatting about nerves and fears, because that has been one of the questions from one of the members around their biggest challenges with public speaking. And I'm sure for a lot of you in the group that fear and nerves could potentially be one of your biggest challenges or fears when it comes to public speaking. So that's what I'm going to share with you all today. I'm going to share some of my top tips to be able to help you in your public speaking journey. So I'll just see if anybody else is coming on, because I don't want people to miss this information. And you can watch this obviously on replay later on. It will still be in the group for you to be able to watch. I see there's a couple of people on. Give me a wave or a thumbs up in the comments and let me know that you can hear me all right, and then I will get started in sharing the top tips. Hey Mick, how are you? All right, so we're going to talk about nerves and fears today. Now, this is something that is completely common and it's completely normal. So I just want to share that with everybody, because I think sometimes, whether we're in business or whether we're doing any kind of public speaking, is that a lot of people, we don't share a lot of the background and a lot of how we feel as well. So I really want to share that with you, that it's completely normal to feel some sort of nerves, even if it's even up to feeling like you might vomit. Those are all completely normal, because what happens is that our brains and our bodies like to keep us safe. Hi Angus. They like to keep us safe. So when it comes to public speaking and we're suddenly put on a stage or put in front of people and all the eyes are on us, it makes us feel like we're in our bodies and our minds makes us feel like we're in a danger zone. So that's why we can have those feelings of nerves and we can have those as fears. So those are completely normal, okay? So we don't make them wrong, we don't make them bad feelings. It's just how to minimize those, how to use some techniques to be able to lessen it, so that you can actually get up to enjoy the process of actually getting up there to speak. And I know for myself, I didn't go from, suddenly from having those nerves and fears to overnight completely not having them there. It's something you really need to practice and master that skill. And as I say to everybody and my clients, the more you do public speaking, the more you'll grow that muscle. So if we're only doing something once a year or once every quarter, then we're not building that muscle, because each time we just go, oh, thank God that's over with. I don't need to do that for another 3 months or another year. Then we never actually gain that skill, but we never actually grow that muscle. So in our brains, we have neurons and connectors. We have to constantly work at those and connect them in our brains, so that we can lessen that nerves and those fears. So if it's something that you do, hey Brookie, I would really, if public speaking is something that you do and it's not maybe on a regular basis, maybe it's something to look at doing some lunch and learns, maybe getting a group of people round regular basis to just really practice and gather that skill. Because if we don't keep doing it, then it's harder to overcome that fear. So I just wanted to let everybody know that it is completely normal, and how long that lasts for is individual basis. So I know for myself, and I'm always open to sharing how I feel when I do things, is that when I did Ignite last week, and the year before when I did Ignite, I was so scared, so petrified, like I felt like I was going to vomit and all of those things, whereas last week I didn't have any of those feelings. And again, I'm growing that muscle. But one of the major things that I do is my daily practice is meditation. So if that is something that you do or something you've kind of tapped into but you don't do it every day, I would really strongly suggest meditation, and that's definitely the one key thing that has helped me over the years to really lessen that and be able to overcome the fear enough to get up on stage and be able to share a message, because that's what I want to do, but I also want to enjoy it. I don't want to, feel like I haven't breathed for an hour or however long I'm up there and then come off and go, thank God that's over, I'm never doing it again. So one of the reasons why I did Ignite again is because I was so scared to do it last year that this time round I actually wanted to enjoy it. So my tips for today is I want you to think about, out of 10, how committed are you to overcoming that fear or those nerves? Because once we actually start to say, I'm really committed to this, I'm going to follow the skills or the tips that I give you today, and I'm going to do it. So really commit to that change. So rate yourself out of 10, how committed you are to being able to lessen those fears and nerves and start enjoying the process. Enjoy getting up and having to do public speaking or going on lives. Then really commit to that change. Then I want you to rate yourself out of 10 on how stressed you get prior. So it could be a few days before, it could be a week before. So say you've got a presentation, a talk to do, a social media live. How stressed out of 10 do you become leading up to something that you're about to do? Because what you can work on, say it is 10 out of 10, then what you can do moving forward is go, right, I'm going to set the intention and I'm going to bring it down to 9. And start working backwards, because when we go from I'm really stressed at 10, I want to be a 1, then it can be such a far gap between doing that. So why don't you say, my intention is I'm going to feel less stressed by 1 point, and I'm going to set that intention to bring it down a notch. So each time you speak, you're just going to bring it down a notch and bring it down a notch. Then I want you to think about what it is that's holding you back with public speaking. So whether you're watching this live or replay and you really want to do public speaking, or you've tapped into it but you shy away from it, really think about what it is that holds you back with enjoying it, or holds you back from not experiencing those fears and nerves. So for me, a lot of the times that held me back from fully engaging, fully being present and enjoying it was because I always felt that imposter syndrome, where I felt, who was I to stand up and give this talk or do this presentation? There's far bigger and more successful speakers than me, sometimes sharing the same message. So who was I to get up and do that? So a lot of the time it was because I felt that I was an imposter. So that could be one of the reasons why that holds you back from fully embracing it and fully engaging in it and actually just feeling really relaxed about it. So one of the key things that helped me was definitely the meditation and practicing and putting myself out there regularly to speak, and then you start gaining that confidence to really go for it. So think about, is it something external that holds you back? Is it people's judgments or what will people think? Is it, do you feel like you'll go blank and you'll not remember what you have to say? Do you feel that holds you back because you might fail? So all of those are things that potentially could hold you back. And what we need to think about is a lot of those things are external. So when we start to, things that are external that are holding us back, we're just giving away our power to all of those external factors, when actually a lot of it, it's not real. So that's when we can really bring that power back to us, to be able to then overcome those nerves and fears, to, rise up, face everything and rise up. That's one of the things you have to look at is it external or is it internal? Is it real? Or is it a past belief that you might have around that? So then I want you to think about, what have you tried in the past to overcome that one thing? So what's one of the things that you might have tried in the past? Because we might try these things once and then we go, oh, that doesn't work, and we never do it again. So doing things like meditation, if you decide, I'm just going to do this meditation just before I get on or stand up in front of people, and you haven't been doing it every day, then if we're still nervous or fearful of something, of course we're probably going to say it doesn't work, because we've still felt fearful and we've still felt nervous. It is something we have to continue each and every single day to build that skill, build that muscle that we need to build when it comes to public speaking. So think of something you've tried in the past. Think about, could you give this another go, and give it a go actually every single day, and really embed that into each and every single day. What is one thing that you've tried in the past that you could try again? Or what's something you could change in order to move forward? And then I want you to think about, when that fear or those nerves start to come to the surface, how does it feel physically in your body? So do you get a knot in your stomach? Do you feel tense in your shoulders and your arms? You know, where does it actually surface to in your body? So for me in the past, a lot of it's been that I get that funny feeling in my stomach. So a lot of the times it can be what we call about butterflies. But other people, it could be really more intense than that, where it could be really just like as if somebody's stabbing us in the stomach. We feel sick. A lot of the times as well is like I felt really tense, like my shoulders come up to my ears. And so those are some things that I feel physically in the past when I have been nervous or fearful around speaking. So what is it for you? So that you can identify what's going on in your body when those occurrences and situations occur. Because then you're going to be able to look at, well, how do you just settle yourself down? How do you relax those shoulders and relax those arms, and be able to how to settle that stomach as well. So then I want you to think about, how does it feel emotionally? So do you feel angry at yourself for feeling like that? Do you feel sad? Do you feel frustrated at yourself? So think about how you feel when that happens. Because sometimes we can, we might not be nervous leading up to something, but on the day we suddenly get really, really super nervous, and we think, oh my goodness, I never felt like that yesterday, and why is it happening now? And we start to get really angry and frustrated at ourselves. And that's where we talk about, don't make it wrong to have those feelings. It's just our nature's way of keeping us safe. That's all that's happening, is that we just want to keep ourselves safe from harm or from danger. So the more that we can become aware about where it's happening physically and emotionally, then that's how we can start to then put some of the tips and techniques into overcoming those, because you're starting to recognize that. So then I want you to think about, why are you doing what you're doing? So when you get up to do a talk or a presentation or a workshop or a social media live, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it to help people? Is it to inspire them? Is it to educate them? Remembering why you're doing it. Is it because it's your passion and your purpose in life? The more you can come back to your why, that is really going to help you overcome that fear, because then you're not going to care what other people think. You're not going to care if you go blank, or you're going to mess up, or you're going to fail, because your belief is going to be so much more stronger that all of those things will dissolve, and that won't happen. So know why you're doing it, and what you're doing and what you're speaking about. How is this going to benefit your audience? because it's about your audience and not about you. So the more that you can flip that nerves and those fears into excitement to help others, then it's really going to dissolve those fears and those nerves, because you're there for the audience. You're there for your clients, for your customers, for the people that have showed up to hear you speak. So always think about the benefit for someone else. And then if you have anybody in the audience that you know, then really use them to be able to engage with them. So if those nerves and fears start to build up, then find them in the audience, and they will connect with you, and they will let you know that you're fine, you're safe, they'll just give you that warm smile to let you know. If you don't have someone in the audience that you know, then that's okay. But if you do, or you could ask a friend to come with you and sit in the audience, so that you just have that person. And I know for me in the beginning, like, it was always really good to have someone there that is your biggest supporter and your biggest support network, because you can really just connect with them, as well as we still want to give eye contact to everybody else. But just in that moment, sometimes, and I've had it myself, halfway through a presentation or a speech, is suddenly those emotions come to the surface, and we start to get those nerves and those fears. And if we have someone that we can connect with, then it's just going to help us. It's just going to support us and settle those nerves and fears back down. And if eye contact is something that makes you really nervous as well, this is just a bit of a trick that you can use in the early days. It's not something I would advise to continue to do. But especially if you've got a bit of a large crowd, or it is an intimate setting, is that if you focus on people's eyebrows, you still look like you're looking at them. But this might help with the nerves and the fears in the beginning, is just to scan the room, but scan round at people's eyebrows. If just that real connection with people with the eyes can put you off. But again, build that skill up of being able to connect with people. So if you have that one person that you know that's there, make sure you connect with them with eye contact. And for everybody else, you could use that trick to just help with that confidence building, especially in the beginning. Or if you've done a lot of public speaking and you're coming back into it again and you've had some time off, or then use these little tips and tricks as well, because sometimes when we've left it so long, a lot of those nerves and fears can come back to the surface as well. So again, my top tips is just find out what it is physically and emotionally that's happening when those nerves and fears come up, and be able to think about why you're doing what you're doing. What's the benefit for the audience? And also, how committed are you to making this change? To just absolutely reducing and dissolving nerves and fears for once and for all. How committed are you? And if anybody wants to let me know that in the comments, feel free to do what your commitment out of 10 is. Let me know. If you don't, that's completely fine. You can keep that to yourself. And if you do use meditation, then make sure you're doing that every day. And if you don't, then think of something that you can do. It might just be sitting one day, closing your eyes, and really seeing yourself and feeling yourself in that moment, standing up talking and feeling confident. So a bit like having a daydream. So having a daydream of seeing yourself up there talking. This is a lot of stuff that I've done in the past, and I've actually drawn pictures of me standing on stage in front of a large audience. And I do a lot of that daydreaming as well, about seeing yourself up there, and you just feel so confident. You're there for the audience. You have so much love to give. Your message is just so big that you have to share it. So have a bit of a daydream and really start to visualize it, but feel yourself confident. That is the major, most important part, is not just seeing it, feeling it. So be inside your body, on stage, in front of people, feeling so amazing and so confident. And flip that excitement, flip that fear and doubt and nerves into excitement. So really all you're doing is you're using the same energy to feel nervous and fearful as you do to become excited. So most people, you may have heard of the saying, is getting your butterflies in formation. So those butterflies that are in our tummies, completely normal to have. We just want to put them in formation as soon as we stand up to talk in front of people. And I still get butterflies. I still get them. I just know how to put them in formation. But butterflies are good because if you're so passionate about the story and the message that you're sharing, relate and tune into those butterflies, because they're just excited as you are to get you on that stage. And sometimes it can be the adrenaline that we need to go up there and put out all of our energy to help people. So again, don't make them wrong. They're there for a reason, and they're also an aid to get you in front of people and help you do that. Okay, so I hope that's been really helpful for everybody today. That's just some of my tips for you. Let me know if it has been helpful. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. And again, Monday afternoon is our Q&A. So if anybody has some other questions around any of what I've spoken about today, then make sure and come on live at 4 o'clock Australia time and 7 o'clock in the morning UK time. And they will always be there on replay. So if anybody's come on today that isn't able to make 4 o'clock on Monday, then send me a message with your question and I'm happy to answer on live, and you can watch it on the replay as well. Okay everyone, have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see you all again live on Monday. Until then, I will see you all soon. See you later.